Spiritual Teaching 156. Love each other. 1. Disciples who come to the Master in pursuit of wisdom are welcome. Here I am, my children, once again among you, because I contemplate that you are the disciple eager for teaching. You consider that you are not yet ready to give my word to your brothers, and you come to hear him who knows everything. Tomorrow, being ready, you will be disciples and you will be teachers. 2. You ask me for my grace to be able to understand my word, and I grant it to you. But recognize that I am speaking to you in this time with absolute clarity. 3. Take my word and feed yourselves with it, because I come to strengthen your spirit. 4. My lessons are always different, but they have the same essence, the same love. I always start by talking to you of love, and I conclude by overflowing in charity. Between these two virtues, my law is enclosed. From that source, take strength and the light. That is my will that I manifest to you, not as an order, because the Master, being infinite wisdom, asks you to understand and fulfill of your own free will. 5. I have granted you free will, and I only come to show you the path through which you must travel. And I will always tell you that path is one of perfection. The path whose end is not in bodily death, but extends beyond this life, which your spirit will subsist. 6. I have told you that when you fulfill your mission in this world, I promise you happiness in the hereafter, and you will not return to stain with the mud and the passions of the flesh. 7. You do not know how many stages you will still have to live on this planet. If I find it fair that you reincarnate again, you will have to come in a new body, but bringing greater evolution in the spirit, which will not rebel against the divine will, and you will continue your work for the good of your brothers. You will continue to elevate and perfect yourselves, full of confidence and hope in my justice. 8. You will have to be strong to resist dangers and temptations, and before your example and tests of strength, the enlightened and chosen of the Lord, because in your steps the spiritual world of light will help you, which will watch over you at all times. Walking together and under my will, you will make my prophetic word come true. 9. Keep working. Even when the fruit of your struggle is not seen by the eyes of your body, will you see it in spirit or through a new body? 10. That will be the work for humanity of tomorrow, in which each one will work for the good of all, and the nations will fight for the peace of the world. 11. At this time the struggle of ideas and creeds will begin. It will be a time of controversies and discussions, in which the intellectuals of this world will put your knowledge to the test. 12. The various interpretations that have been given to my word of the second era and everything I have said will be discussed through my enlightened ones. Then, the veil of many mysteries will be lifted, and the hypocrisy of many will be brought down by the truth of my teaching. 13. My divine desire is that men through their doctrines come to understand each other, thus taking a step towards spiritual unification. 14. Prepare yourselves for this time, and then you will persuade with humble and simple words the wise and understood, because your elevation will suffice to inspire you with my wisdom, which will flow inexhaustibly from your mouth. Follow the path traced by me. 15. I see that you are suffering because of the affliction that the world gives you, and also because you have come following me on a path of humility and charity. 16. Do not weep for yourselves, because in truth your spirit is being purifying. Cry for those who still cling to the pleasures of the world and remain captive to the flesh. Do not think that I enjoy your sorrows, because that would be greatly deny my virtue, which is that of love. Observe that I come to you precisely to shorten your days of affliction and make your pains lessen. I advise you to persevere in the good, because it is better that now you are suffering for doing good, than if you dedicate yourself to doing evil. 17. Above your sufferings I will make you feel my peace, that divine grace, which the powerful cannot enjoy, despite all its flaws. 18. I have taught you to heal the sick in body and spirit. Who with such virtue would fulfill and come in turn to feeling ill? You will feel at the head of your bed the presence of the doctor of doctors. Learn to feel my company as well as that of the spiritual world, so that you never feel alone, so that the orphan does not feel unprotected, so that the widow does not feel alone or helpless, so that the abandoned man or woman does not feel a void in the spirit, and that those who have not known love on earth feel in their hearts the love of their heavenly Father. 19. Love your fellow men, serve them, dedicate to them even a part of your time, because in this way you will achieve so that your spirit fulfills its mission. Then you will be able to imitate in your life the lessons of the Divine Master, the one who, forgetting his sufferings and bitterness, he only devoted himself to blessing and pouring the consolation of his teaching to each one of his steps. 20. People, now that you have me in this form, vibrate with joy when you hear my word. 21. Recreate the poor, those who have never owned anything, the sick, the outcast, those who have hunger and thirst for justice, the sad, the oppressed. Fill your heart with hope, because truly I tell you that the hope in you will not be disappointed. Understand that the hour of justice has come and that all who have patiently suffered its restitution, those who have known how to gently drain their chalice and have endured their trials with love, all of them will receive their reward. 22. Revelations, knowledge, bread and balsam, all that and more has been given to those who have known how to wait for my time to return. 23. Disciples, multiply so that my peace and my light may spread throughout the world. My message is not addressed to certain creatures exclusively. It is directed to all my children. Blessed are those who receive it, and all they that wait for it. 24. You are toddlers before my teachings, and that is why you still do not live according to the perfection of spiritual life. You have not yet reached the fullness of true life, and to help you it was necessary for me to descend to help you, so that with my help you will be able to know everything you do not know, what you have not understood and what you have forgotten. 25. Jesus is and should be your model, for that I came to become a man in that time. What was the manifestation that Jesus gave to humanity? His infinite love, his divine wisdom, his boundless mercy and power. 26. I told you, imitate me and you will come to do the same works that I do. If I came as a teacher, you must understand that it was not to teach you impossible lessons or that were beyond the reach of the understanding of men. 27. Understand then, when you do works similar to those that Jesus taught you, you will have reached the fullness of life, which I told you about earlier. 28. How many men, because of the knowledge that they have achieved, believe they possess spiritual greatness and become children parked on their path of evolution no longer follow me? Because they must consider that it is not just development of their mind by which they can achieve the elevation of their spirit, but it must be by the development of the whole of his being, and there are many gifts in man that must be developed in order to achieve fulfillment. 29. That is why I instituted, as one of my laws of love and justice, the reincarnation of the spirit, to grant it a longer path, which provides all the necessary opportunities to achieve their improvement. Each existence is a short lesson, because otherwise it would reduce a man's chance to encompass her fulfillment of all my law. But it is necessary that you know the meaning of this life, so that you take from it its essence and achieve its harmony, which is the basis of human perfection, so that you can move to a plane higher, until reaching the spiritual life, where I have stored for you so many lessons that I must teach you and so many revelations that I have yet to make. 30. Never have all beings here in the world marched on the same spiritual level. Together with men of one great elevation, others have lived in great delay. I must warn you that this time will not be the only one which men of a very high spirit arise. 31. In all times, even in the most remote times of human history, you have had examples of men of high spirit. How could you explain that from the earliest times there were already men of evolved spirit, if before they had not undergone successive reincarnations that helped them rise? 32. It is that the spirit is not born at the same time as the body, nor the principle of humanity coincides with that of the spirit. In truth, I tell you, no, there is not one spirit that has come into the world without first having existed in the hereafter. And who of you can measure or know how long you have lived in other mansions before you came to dwell on earth? 33. On other worlds, spirits of free will also enjoy and sin and stray, or persevere in good, and this is how they manage to rise, just as you do on earth. But when the marked moment arrives, those who are destined to come to this world, some descend to it to fulfill a noble mission, others to expiate their restitution. But depending on how they want to see this earth, so it will be presented to them as a paradise for some or as a hell for others. That is why, when they understand their Father's mercy, they only see a wonderful life strewn with blessings and teachings for the Spirit, a path that brings them closer to the promised land. 34. Some leave this world wanting to return. Others do so with the fear of having to return, and that is because your being has not yet come to understand the harmony in which you must live with the Lord. 35. I have already revealed to you that my people are scattered throughout the earth. That is to say that the spiritualist seed it is scattered throughout the entirety of the earth. 36. Today you are disunited, and you even get to ignore each other because of true trifles. More when materialistic doctrines threaten to invade you all, than it will be when you will come to identify all that you think and feel with the Spirit. For when that time comes, I will give you a sign so that you can recognize yourself, something that everyone can see and hear in the same way. So when you bear witness to one another, you will be amazed and you will say, "It is the Lord who has visited us." 37. Understand that your spiritualist brothers are not only inhabiting this nation but also found in other towns, regions, and nations. Know that you must prepare yourself to achieve the greatest clarity in your life so that you give true testimony of everything that you have heard and received here. I am touching all the spirits, so that the time has come. They know how to give you a faithful and complete testimony of all that they in turn have received, and so be prepared to listen to you with love. 38. It will not be human forces that move this people on earth when they unite. They will be spiritually one, without looking for a special city. Nor will there be a spiritual government that governs the world. 39. A higher light will guide and inspire you about various ideologies, doctrines, tendencies, religions, creeds, and sects, and then the humanity that until today has lived submerged in the most complete materialism will be astonished when arriving to contemplate the appearance and doctrine of this people. 40. My people in the past did not do works that would bring them closer to the perfect union with their Creator. Rather, they fell into desecration and disobedience. However, I did not exterminate it, because my justice of love wanted to preserve it and multiply it on earth, so that it could purify itself of its past faults and perform already with greater light in the Spirit the mission that has been entrusted to him from the earliest times, which is to bring the divine message to his brothers, to open a spiritual gap to other peoples, and to teach with their works and examples how my divine law is respected and fulfilled. 41. Understand that if I have sent you into the world, it has been for the blessing of men. Pray and watch, so that you may come to be prepared in that hour, in which you will all be united in spirit, in thought and in deeds, even when materially you are distant from each other. Only with spirituality, you will be able to fight and defeat the dragon of materialism, which advances step by step, devouring peoples and sowing pain and desolation. 42. In this age I say to you, blessed are you who have been predestined to receive me at this time and hear my word. I have prepared you, and my light has bathed your spirit. So you will be strong, and even when they come upon you great tests, you will not be defeated. When you are already in the spiritual valley, you will know how great the privilege that you have had, and you will feel happy. 43. When you heard my word for the first time, you felt that it was I who was speaking to you and meditating on your works. You thought you were not clean, that you should make yourself worthy, and you started a new life. And each day you perfected. But how difficult it is for you to persevere in that purpose. You come to sacrifice many times without having asked you, and you get tired soon. I tell you, I am pleased that you take the path with patience. How can you perfect yourself in a short time if the work you are going to undertake is so great? 44. You love me, and this is your foundation. You present your faith to me, and yet, when the trials come to you, you tell me, Master, I always find obstacles to comply with your laws. The incredulity of mine makes me weak. The temptation intervenes at every moment to make me fall, and even I myself have broken my purpose. I tell you, in the middle of this fight you have to work. Those obstacles you encounter are tests for your faith, and with them, the Spirit will grow clarifying. Trust yourself, understand that you carry my Spirit, and have been prepared to participate in this great battle. 45. You are just taking your first steps, and even though I have called some guides, other spokespersons, you all have to prepare to get to know your position and know how to perform it. But I do not ignore your merits. You have given my cause the first place in your heart, and your greatest desire is to follow me. As Father, I have guided you, I have led, and I have opened my heart, so that in it you can read my love and my charity. 46. My patience has no limits. I have granted you 3 ages and innumerable reincarnations so that you can reach your spiritual elevation, and even at this time I have come to speak to you without contemplating unbelief and human materialism. You are in the 3rd era of spiritual manifestations, and if you know how to take advantage of your gifts, you will contemplate the power of your spirit, and you will know that I have always wanted to make of you superior beings capable of carrying out big works. I have arranged everything for you to be governed by my law of love and respect. At the right hand of each worker is a guardian angel, and when those beings have communicated with you, they have manifested his humility, his obedience. They have accompanied you on the journey, and with you they have suffered the harshness off the road. Hear them, because in their word full of light, you will find the explanation of my revelations. After the year of 1950, you will remember the example of those virtuous beings, who will not be separated from you, but will continue to inspire to your spirit and protecting humanity. 47. Prepare yourselves, so that you do not attribute imperfection to my word. Know its essence. If as the spokesperson I use you and your spirit is not attentive to my dictates, the word that comes from your lips will not reflect my perfection. Then, go into the true meaning of it, and you will know what I wanted to express. Do not attribute to me imperfections. Understand that I am your God, that I am perfect. 48. Rise up full of zeal and defend my cause. All that you find outside the law in the practices of the worker, correct him with love and justice. 49. I receive from your seed that which contains truth and clarity, and that which has not reached maturity. I leave it in your hands so that you continue to cultivate and correct it. 50. But come to me, my children, I receive you. You are the tired walker who has wandered through different paths, and now after great trials and disappointments, you seek my blessing and my support. You have come blessing me and thanking me for having found rest. And I tell you, I fill you with grace, and it is my will that you regain strength, that you fill with courage, because after you become ecstatic hearing mighty chings, you will prepare yourselves to face an approaching struggle for all men, and particularly for the people of Israel. Recognize that you are part of this people, whose positions have been very great at all times. But you are the prophets, the interpreters of my word, the wise men. 51. You have been formed with perfection. Your spirit has been enlightened to know the greatness of my creation, so that by studying its spiritual part, you will understand that you are similar to me, and knowing the material nature, you can make use of it, because it has been placed by me, as a humble servant before man. When will you get to know and master it? When will you be so worthy that you can order an element to stop or change, for the benefit of your brothers? It is true that they obey laws dictated with justice and love. But you have power, and I have told you that when you become spiritual, you will be able to stop diseases, inclement weather, the severity of calamities and sin. You can do everything if you have faith. The time will come when every spirit is moved and all intelligence awakens. And when looking for the source from where it comes, the light and perfection will find me. 52. An age of regeneration draws near. You, my disciples, will lay the foundations for the formation of a world again. You will work as the armies of good work, the angels who, out of love for you, fight to achieve the spiritual elevation of humanity. 53. Love is the most powerful force with which man can reach their regeneration. 54. In the second era, many doubted me. They could not believe that the humble man, mixed among the mobs of needy, sick and sinners, be the master, the word of the Father. And as they contemplate my benefits and works of love and forgiveness, they wondered, is he a sorcerer or a prophet? When that woman who had committed adultery was in my presence, they wanted to test me and said, judge this woman who has sinned is wicked and does not deserve to be among us. Throw her away because she is not worthy of hearing your teachings nor share your bread. And I said to them, you know the guilt of this woman. You all judge that she is a sinner. But he whom you find clean, free from all sin, cast the first stone. I touched those who accused her through their conscience, and soon they knew that their faults were very great, greater than those of that woman, and ashamed they withdrew. And the one who had been accused and tried by that mob asked my forgiveness, recognized her stain, and so great was her repentance, which felt purifying, and love was kindled in her heart. So I picked her up and said to her, I forgive. Go and do not sin again. 55. Thus, when you feel tortured by the weight of guilt and you are repentant, cleanse yourselves with prayer and with good works. Come to me, regain peace and sin no more. But I also say to you, why do you judge mercilessly other people's faults and you don't look inside yourself? I forgive you before committing the fault, and how few hearts I have found repentance on the way. But I announce to you once again that sin will disappear. 56. The earth will be clean. Man will hear the voice of his conscience again. I invite you to dwell with me, because that is the only way to reach me. 57. Whenever you watch and pray, you will be saved from pains and temptations. The time I give you, take it to do works that give proof of your faith as disciples. The world will get closer to you, and he will be surprised to contemplate your peace and will say, how is it possible that this town enjoys tranquility, while the nations have become a bonfire of hatred? And the Master will answer, I find purifying and worthy this people, but I have descended to all. Anyone who seeks me will find me, and I will be so close to him that he will feel me in his own heart. My peace be with you.